Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Soul Silver with only one Cyndaquil was pretty hard. Let's follow it up with another solo run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold with a team of only one Remoraid. So Remoraid is an interesting one. It's a first form water type with super even stats, 35 in health, defense, and special defense, and 65 in attack, special attack, and speed. I guess you could say it's a glass cannon, although it doesn't exactly hit as hard as a cannon. By level up, we learn a few cool moves like Psybeam and Ice Beam, but overall it's nothing too amazing. Weird that we got our moves at level 11, 22, 33, 44, and 55. Really, I think Bubble Beam, Psybeam, and Ice Beam are all that's really worth using here. By TM we can learn a little bit more, but honestly not anything that helps with our type coverage, so I'm not interested in most of this. I'll take Surf to replace Bubble Beam, and maybe I'll take Return for fighting water types, but either than that, there isn't really anything that I want that bad. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. Getting Ice Beam makes me think that we can beat Lance, but we might be too frail for Red at the end. Are we going to be strong enough to even take out Snorlax? It's kind of hard to say. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Remoraid. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Totodile with Remoraid so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Totodile so that our rival would have Meganium, probably the hardest for us to fight. I name him Pillman. Only the real ones get it. Alright, so early game travel is actually a little bit harder than usual, mostly because we can't just do Bellsprout Tower for a bunch of experience. We're water type and still relying on Water Gun as our only attacking move for the first little while, so it's not worth it to try and struggle through a bunch of level 3 Bellsprouts. We'd have to leave the tower and heal all the time, so instead I just make sure to fight some extra wild Pokemon on the way to the Flying Gym. I even had to grind in the grass a little bit because we were fainting to trainers in the Flying Gym just thanks to being so frail. Kinda makes me worried about how many fights we're gonna be too frail for later, but I guess we'll find out when we get there. By level 12, we made pretty short work of the Flying Gym, although we lost over half of our health in the process. I know he's only using Pokemon that are less than level 10, but he's a pretty legendarily easy fight, so it's saying something that we lost so much health. That means that we're traveling to the Bug Gym and the rival fight, and I don't really think that we can beat either of them without some serious leveling. I'm gonna grab Swift on my way to the Bug Gym just so that we have a new move for when we have to fight our rival's Bayleaf, but I couldn't see us actually beating it for a while. I'll just fight everything I can and do the Bug Gym first. I figure that at least we stand a chance there. So I get to the Bug Gym at level 19, Metapod and Kakuna were obviously easy, but Scyther was the real threat. We lucked out though, and he missed a Fury Cutter on the first turn. The rest of them were hitting and building power fast, but we did exactly enough damage that we hardly took him out with only 8 health left. It would have been better if he missed later, but it was still a first try. After that was our rival. Ghastly was super easy because Lick hardly hurt us at all, but after that was Bayleaf. We did a decent little bit of damage, but a critical Razor Leaf obviously took us out fast. You know what? At level 22 we learn a bunch of moves, including Aurora Beam. That could probably get us a win. So next try at level 22, right away we crit Ghastly for a one-shot, then did pretty great damage to Bayleaf with Aurora Beam. He probably could have one-shot us with a critical Razor Leaf, but he used Reflect instead, so we just took him out. Last was Zubat, but it was a one-shot with Aurora Beam. Easy fight. So next up is the normal gym, and I don't really have high hopes. We have some medium power moves, but it takes a lot more than that to take out Whitney's infamous Miltank. It's tanky, rollout hits hard, she can use Milk Drink if she's hurt and not stuck on a rollout, and she's super fast and can flinch us with Stomp. We're kind of frail, so it doesn't really matter if she builds up rollout or spams Stomp, I'm sure she could take us down either way. Maybe Bubble Beam could drop her speed, but honestly, I don't think we could survive 3 hits, and I doubt we can take her down in 3, so I doubt speed matters all that much anyway. Let's fight a bunch of trainers on the way, then give it a try. So Clefairy hit Double Slap, so she was easy as expected, but right away we flinched to a Stomp, hit a Bubble Beam for a decent damage, and then went down to a rollout. Well, we lost, but we actually did more damage than I was expecting. We could 3-shot her. Now if we could level up a little bit to 2-shot her, then this would be a pretty easy win. Alright, after clearing out all the trainers to the north and grinding a bit in the grass, we got to level 30, and now Bubble Beam is a 2-shot, so that battle wasn't too bad. Good, I was actually getting worried. Right away, I went straight to the dance hall so that we could get a little bit of experience, and most importantly, get the HM for Surf. This is going to be our strongest move, so naturally I want to get it right away. Hey, well, I get that HM. Let's do a round of MDB AMA. First is AJ Evans, who wrote MDB Q&A for some reason. I stumbled across this one just because I was looking at my comments at the time. Use MDB AMA, it makes it so I can actually search it. Also, sorry, I don't even know if these fireworks are going to be audible in the background, but it's an Indian holiday right now, and there's fireworks going off incessantly, but I've got to get the voiceover done today. Shoutouts to all my Indian homies, and whatever holiday it is on November 1st. I know it's one of them, but I don't remember the name. AJ is asking if I have specific HM Pokemon in each version. I actually get asked this a lot. Yeah, for most of them at least. In Kanto, I catch a Spearow, and I trade it for Farfetch to use Fly and Cut. Then what I use for Surf depends on what order I do things in. If I beat the Poison Gym before the rival, then I catch whatever I can through fishing for Surf. Usually it's like a Poliwag or something. Then I use Lapras later for Strength. If I beat the rival first, though, then I use Lapras for Surf and Strength. In Johto, it's Hoot Hoot for Fly, Sandshrew for Cut and Strength, Krabby for Surf and Whirlpool, then I use my Master Ball on a Goldeen for Waterfall. In Hoenn, it's Zigzagoon for Rock Smash and Surf, Geodude for Strength, usually a Wingull for Fly, and a Tentacool for Dive and Waterfall. In Sinnoh, it's Bidoof and Bibarel for basically everything, and a Starly for Fly. I don't bother with Defog, you don't really need it at all. Lastly, in Unova, you only actually use Cut once, so I use one of the Elemental Monkeys for it, and for Fly, I just use whatever the first flying type thing I run into. I know in Black 2 and White 2, you need to use more HMs, but I've played those so little that I don't really have set in stone HM Pokemon for them yet. I hope that was interesting to some of you, though. That was a long answer. Let's do 2 shorter questions. Do you think this one's Nate or Knate? I'm gonna say Nate. Nate wants to know if I've ever gotten around to watching Kung Pao. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know, my friends Whatageek and Truth both independently have been bugging me to watch Kung Pao for years. I know that I'll love it, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. You know what? I'll watch it before 2024 is over for sure. Last question. Gobel wants to know if I play any other video games while working on challenge runs or Let's Plays. I mean, not while I'm working on them, because, you know, I'm kind of busy working on them. Like, I'm not playing 2 video games at once. If you mean while I'm editing them, then also no, because I'm busy editing them. Maybe he's just asking if I play other video games in between when I'm working on stuff. Yeah, I play video games off-show all the time. If I have free time to myself and I'm not, like, watching wrestling, exercising, or cooking, then I'm probably either playing video games by myself or with my friends. I play all kinds of stuff, though. Lots of Victoria 3 in the last few years. That game just turned 2 years old, and it's my most played game on Steam. I've got thousands of hours on that. But I also play World of Warcraft on a free private server called Turtle WoW. It's not run by Blizzard, so it's actually good. You should join my Discord in the description and come to the World of Warcraft chat sometimes. Join our guild. It's all free, and Turtle WoW can run on even really old computers just fine. We'd love to teach you the game if you're new. I also play Haven and Hearth. I've been playing that since 2014. Love that game. But literally today, when I'm doing this voiceover on November 1st, it came out on Steam as well, and that game is free if you want to play it. That's like a really fun, survival, crazy MMO thing. And I've got a village in it. Again, go to my Discord. You can go to the description and you can join in. We'd love to teach you how to play. It's a real fun time. Be careful of raiders though. It's a very brutal game and anyone could try and take you out. So, you know, stay safe. Read up on the wiki a lot, learn the game. We're happy to teach you. And if you do join our village, whenever we get the village up and running, because new world, make sure to keep the doors closed. Never leave them open. You never know who's gonna come in. Anyway, that's it for this MDB AMA. I have a Ghost Gym to do. All right, this was crazy. Ghost Gym was a sweep. It absolutely shouldn't have been, but the only Pokemon that could hit us was Gengar, and he just used Mean Look, so we didn't get hurt at all. That means we're on the road to the boss rush. I'm kind of skeptical about our chances at the fighting gym since Poliwrath will resist our better moves, but who knows? Psybeam might still pack enough of a punch that we could get a win if we don't get confused or put to sleep. The Steel Gym, though, I'm not sure. Maybe once we're strong enough that Surf one-shots the Magnemites, then we'll be fine, but if we're not one-shotting them, then I'm pretty sure that they're gonna paralyze us and it'll be all downhill from there. Steelix itself probably won't be that bad though, just because we're pretty strong with Surf by this point. So I was right that the Poliwrath at the fighting gym could take a few hits, and I'm sure it would have caused problems, but it just missed Hypnosis twice, so we ended up taking it out super easily on the first try. We didn't even get hurt. After that was the Steel Gym, the Magnemites were just one-shots, and all Steelix did was nearly get one-shot, use Sunny Day, heal back up, then get two-shot. Sunny Day weakened our Surfs, but not enough to prevent it from being a two-shot. That was really clean. That means we're going through the Rocket Hideout on our way to the Ice Gym and the Radio Tower rival fight. Now the Ice Gym is always easy, though he's got some water types, so I don't expect us to be using Surf the entire time. Still, I don't think it'll be hard. Our rival might be more of a problem, but who knows. Ice Beam might just take out Meganium like it's nothing. If so, then all we have to worry about is the Dragon Gym, so I don't expect it to be too brutal. Let's find out. So at the Ice Gym, we actually took more damage than we have in quite a few major fights, just because we couldn't hit Seal or Dugong all that hard. But they weren't exactly hitting us super hard either, so I don't think that we were ever in danger of fainting. Last was Piloswine, and it's part ground type, so it was obviously just a one-shot. After that is our rival, and although most of the fight was easy, Meganium held on from an Ice Beam and took out more than half of our health with a single Razor Leaf. Other than that, the Sneasel hurt us slightly, but we made it through fine. That's how Glass Cannon runs tend to go. Either we win fights super easily, or we get hit once and nearly faint. That means we're traveling to the final gym, the Dragon Gym. Now, I don't know exactly how this is gonna go. I'm sure the Dragonairs will be easy, but this is all about Kingdra. It can sometimes be a real nightmare to fight, and we have no super effective moves for it. You know, since Kingdra is only weak to Dragon-type until Gen 6 when Fairy came along. I don't expect Ice Beam to be doing amazing damage to it, although I think Kingdra's strongest move is Surf, so it probably won't do insane damage to me either. It's hard to say how that's gonna go. Then we have the final rival fight after that. We might just go down to a grass move, but I don't know. I don't actually remember if he's got Razor Leaf by that point, because if he just has Solar Beam, then I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's see what happens. Dragon Gym time. As expected, the Dragonairs were all one-shots, but Kingdra was hard. We were doing less than half of our health and damage with Ice Beams, and Surf was really messing us up. She had Hyper Potions, though, so I was gonna lose, when we lucked out and ended up freezing her off an Ice Beam. Because of that, we got a first-try victory against the Dragon Gym leader when we absolutely would have had to grind for at least 3 or 4 more levels for a win otherwise. And last was our final rival fight, but it was nothing. We literally just swept our way through the entire fight like it was nothing. That crit on Megania may have been required. It's hard to say for sure. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our health is low, and our special defense and defense are both awful, but maybe we stand a chance? Our attack is actually way higher than our special attack. I'm not really thrilled about that. I don't really think that I could win without a few more levels, but then again, our type coverage is actually really good for most of the Elite Four. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Psychic Trainer Will. First is Xatu, who goes down in 1 Ice Beam, and second is Executor, who also goes down in 1 Ice Beam. Strong start. Jinx is next, so I tried for Surf to nearly take her out, but we got rocked hard by Psychic to lose most of our health. We took her out right after, but right after that is Slowbro, and he's pretty tanky, so we couldn't take him out, and he finished us off with Psychic. Okay, well, Jinx is physically frail. I'll try replacing Swift with Return so that we have a good attacking move, and then I'll try that next time and just see if we get a win. Hey, that actually worked great! Getting to Jinx was a sweep like before. Jinx herself went down in 1 return. Slowbro actually used Amnesia this time, so although 2 Psychics could have taken us out, we only got hit by 1, and last was another Xatu who just went down in 1 Ice Beam. Not bad at all. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. This fight was just embarrassing. Despite not at all being a one-shot machine like in other fights, Koga just blew every chance to hit us. Every time he got a chance to do some real damage, he used Minimize or Spikes or something like that. In the end, we got hit by Toxic, but I really do mean in the end. It was in the last turn, we didn't get hurt. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. First is Hitmontop, who we crit with Psybeam to take out in one hit. And second is Hitmonchan, who took 2 hits, so he got us with a Thunder Punch for just a little bit of damage before going down. Third was Hitmonlee, who just survived a Psybeam, so we got rocked with a really strong high jump kick before taking him out, but after that was Machamp, who just took us out pretty quickly with a Cross Chop. Even with a crit, we didn't one-shot him, but I think that we should just keep trying. Maybe we could get to him with more health if I picked different moves. So I tried again with Return to see if their lower defense would make Return a one-shot, but it seems like it was doing about the same damage as Psybeam. Same with Surf too, so I think Psybeam is still the right move since at least it might confuse them. Maybe if I try a few more times I can get Cross Chop to miss. Okay, so I learned my lesson from a bunch of failed tries that even when Cross Chop misses, 2 Psybeams aren't quite enough to take him down. 2 Surfs is though, so after a handful of tries later, we took him out, then we one-shot Onix after for a win. It wasn't exactly easy, but we didn't have to grind. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen. Now this one took a lot of tries thanks to Sand Attack, but as soon as we got a run where we weren't missing or hitting ourselves in confusion and Umbreon went down okay, we did amazingly well. We took no damage the entire fight outside of a sliver from Gengar using Lick, but not paralyzing us. It's funny, this fight is either super easy or super hard just depending on what Umbreon does at the start. Finally, Pokemon Champion Lance. First is Water Onix and our Ice Beams weren't doing much. Thankfully, his Surf wasn't doing much to us in return, but then he switched to Flail, so we were at about half health as he went down. Next is his first Dragonite, who is obviously a one-shot with Ice Beam. Then his second Dragonite was also a one-shot, and I'm sure it will surprise no one to find out that his third Dragonite was also a one-shot. His Charizard was next, and it was a one-shot with Surf, so all that's left is his Aerodactyl. Now, I'm sure we could have gotten a one-shot on it, but he's actually faster than us and crit us with a Hyper Beam. Okay, well, let's just try again and see if we can win if he doesn't crit us. That's not good. Couple tries later, and even though we don't get crit, we still go down to Hyper Beam. Okay, well, that move misses sometimes. Maybe we can just try until it misses. I mean, that or he does a different move. You never know. Hey, on the next try, Hyper Beam misses so we land our one-shot. I can't believe how well the Elite Four and the Pokemon Champion battles just went. How weird is it when Bruno's the hardest one? With that victory, we get into the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Gen 2 has all of Kanto in the post-game, including 8 gym battles and the secret final boss fight with Red. 7 of those 8 gym battles are super easy since they're weaker than the Elite Four, so we're gonna have to skip ahead to the next real challenge, Blue. I made sure to pick up the leftovers, of course. I figure I'm gonna need it. First up is Pidgeot, and our Ice Beam hits super hard, but doesn't quite get the one-shot. Thankfully, we ended up freezing him so he didn't hit us before going down. Executor was second, and of course he comes close to being a one-shot, but he's just using Solar Beam so we take him out before getting hurt too. This is a strong start. Third is Alakazam though, and he's faster than us and rocks us hard with Psychic right away to nearly one-shot us as we took him out with a critical return. I doubt it needed to crit though. Alakazam is pretty physically frail. After that is Water Onix though, and of course we didn't stand a chance. Hyper Beam took us out fast. Well, we were really close to some one-shots. I'm sure in a few levels we could get those. Really, I think as soon as we're faster than Alakazam, we could win this. Level 70. So we're still not one-shotting Executor and Pidgeot, but it doesn't really matter. It's Alakazam being faster than us that still causes problems. We got some hits in on Water Onix at the end and did a bit more damage, but we still went down to Hyper Beam. I bet you that by level 75 we could win this. Okay, this time Pidgeot is a one-shot, as is Executor right after. We're finally faster than Alakazam, so we take him out in one hit too. Return hits Water Onix hard enough that he's just a two-shot, and instead of using Hyper Beam, he crit with Twister. That move is super weak though, so we just took him out and ended up healing back up almost fully from leftovers. Rhydon is of course a one-shot with Surf, and last is Arcanine, who we're actually faster than, and is also a one-shot with Surf. That wasn't too bad. Okay, now that we beat Blue and had a pretty easy time with most of this run, doesn't mean that we can beat Red. We do have the advantage on how most of his team likes to waste time with like weather moves and stuff, but there's 2 Pokemon on his team that I think could totally shut us down. You might think Pikachu because it's electric type, but his Pikachu kind of sucks. I mean, I'm sure it'll be hard when we first get there, but after a few levels, it probably won't be. It's actually Espeon and Snorlax that have me worried. I doubt I can one-shot either of them, even at a very high level. Espeon's Psychic is absolutely going to destroy us, and Snorlax is so insanely tanky that I don't think that we could take it out for a long time. If anyone could shut us down, it's Rad. Wish me luck. So first try and we get outsped and one-shot by Thunder. Alright, well, I guess I should have seen that coming. I mean, obviously this isn't happening at this low of a level. Let's start making real tries at level 80. Level 80! The exact same thing happened. Okay, I kind of figured we might have been faster by then. Alright, let's level more. Level 85! Okay, we're faster than Pikachu and we one-shot it with Surf. That really turned around. Second is Venusaur, who just gets frozen off Ice Beam, so we take it out on the second round, no problem. Third is Espeon, who uses Reflect, so we got a free hit in with Surf, but on the second round, we lost most of our health to Psychic before we finished it off. After that is Snorlax, and we did about half of his health and damage with a critical Surf, but then we went down to a Body Slam. Hey, that actually wasn't too horrible. I need to keep leveling, obviously, but we might be able to beat Snorlax at level 100 without having to rely on freezing. Level 90. Things went the exact same. I mean, even down to us freezing Venusaur again. I guess this time we didn't crit Snorlax, but he still beat us in one hit. Level 95. Okay, so Venusaur just goes for Solar Beam, so we don't get hit by it, and now we're faster than Espeon, so it only gets to attack us once. Its Psychic still hits hard and lowered our special defense, though. Then we got super lucky against Snorlax as we crit with a Surf. He used Amnesia, then we finished it off with Return. Second from last is Blastoise though, and although we got him to super low health, he fainted us with Surf. The worst part, if we didn't get that special defense drop, then I bet we could have won. I figure that we either need Espeon to use Reflect, or we need to crit Snorlax again. Then again, if Espeon uses Reflect and Snorlax uses Amnesia, then I don't know how we're gonna win. Maybe I just spam Ice Beam at that point and hope for a freeze. Level 100. Okay, so Espeon does hit Psychic, but we don't lose special defense this time, so she goes down and we stand a chance. Against Snorlax, we ended up critting a Return right away to nearly one-shot him, and all he did was use Amnesia, so we got to take him out on the next hit. Honestly, we might not have needed that crit. 2 returns may have gotten us the knockout anyway. It's kind of hard to say. Second from last is Blastoise, and now that we didn't lose any special defense, we managed to take him out without losing too much health. We're still beaten up, but we have a bit left. Last is Charizard, though, and obviously, we just land a one-shot with Surf. It was close, but we got a win. That wasn't even a crazy amount of tries. That was actually a pretty fast run. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be a much longer one, thanks to how frail we are. But our type coverage was alright, and we hit pretty hard. I love getting to use these Pokemon that I never normally get to use. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Pearl, with only version exclusives. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time, I would love to go forever, but it's a weird day. I've been trying to fix my sleep for I don't know, months now, 4 or 5 months has been slowly getting worse and worse, and I've been becoming more and more nocturnal. And it's not a huge deal in the summer because you still get a lot of daylight, but now that it's getting towards winter, it's no daylight, and I hate that. It feels so rough. Last night, I fell asleep at 8 in the morning, so the sun was coming up, and then I woke up at 6 p.m. when the sun was coming down. Or 5:30, I guess. That is miserable. I've been trying to fix it several ways. I've read all the guides online. You take sleeping pills. I forget the name of it now. Melatonin. You take melatonin to help you fall asleep at a proper time, to help reset your sleep schedule, and it just doesn't work for me. And I try so many things. I find, and this is not what they recommend. They always recommend you slowly go to bed earlier and earlier and stuff, and that never works for me. I find it's easier for me if I have a few days where I stay up way later and I kind of push my sleep forward 3 or 4 hours at a time that way. Because I work from home, so it's not a big deal when I'm awake, just as long as I'm awake long enough to get all my work done and everything, and all my obligations and whatnot. So pushing it forward tends to work better for me, and I got really close to fixing it that way this week. but then it all just went downhill. So I'm gonna have to try again. So I think what I'm gonna do tonight is I got up at like 5:30 p.m. It's 8 right now p.m. I'm gonna work like crazy today. I'm gonna walk a lot, get a lot of exercise in, eat well. I mean, stuff that I like doing anyway. And take some melatonin around 2 a.m. Hope I can get up at 10 a.m. And hey, if I can make 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. my new schedule for a little while, that's a massive, massive improvement. That's a lot more daylight. I would love that. Now, ideally, I'd like to do more like fall asleep at midnight and wake up at 8 a.m. I feel like that's like where I naturally want to land more. But we'll see what I can do. We'll see. So as much as I'd love to ramble forever, I've got to do that. And if you're wondering why I was like streaming a whole lot in like September and then not a whole lot in October, it's because I've been trying desperately to fix the sleep schedule stuff. It's miserable. I hate it. I always feel so rough if I don't get enough daylight. I like sunbathing and hanging out outside and stuff, and I miss it. All right. I gotta get this whole video edited today. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.